Jim Ratcliffe is the first person really from the whole United Liverpool being on the market to have shown his hand and made any kind of formal bid. Now that happening it's sort of like the first cab off the rank almost,
Yeah.
It can sometimes prompt others who may be looking at both thinking, well, nothing's happening with FSG. Nothing's happening quickly, They are still biding their time and still assessing options, etc. There'll be interest that I'm sure that's been fielded, but I'm not privy to. But in terms of high level discussion, understood repeatedly from what I'm told, it's not happened yet. But for people who are looking at the market, they're thinking, well, someone like United, Jim Ratcliffe's gone. They're really different value propositions as well. So Manchester United they're looking at 5 billion, something like that for the club. But then there's the infrastructure which has to be taken on board. They don't even know yet whether they're going to redevelop Old Trafford or pull it down to the ground. Liverpool's is largely that's one thing which has been a constant. While the investment into the actual product on the pitch has, they've quite obviously missed 2 or 3 transfer windows glaringly, and that's left them with a very expensive rebuild job in the summer, which is partly because of the reason I think why they're looking at realising some influx of capital, because they probably think, well, this is going to skew our business model for a period of time here. But they have, off the field, it has kind of continually grown. So if someone's acquired Liverpool, they're acquiring a club which is already got a training ground, got development which has happened around the stadium, etc. So, but I think that there is a raft of money, especially in the US, particularly because it's seen most recently, like quite recently, as an asset class all of its own. They've got the World Cup coming in 2026. There is an American audience which wasn't really there before, which is now massively on board with it. And then you've got emerging markets like India, etc., which will come into play, as well as obviously the Middle East. But these things are huge considerations for when people place their money. In the US, it's very much it's transactional. So they are putting money into something to get back a return over time, and that's just the nature of investment. I'm asked quite often, why would anyone put money into FSG when they won't have a say or a controlling stake on how it's going to be spent? That's just the nature of private equity and institutional investment. You hand your money over to people and trust them to do with what is needed to grow the value of the asset. So that's just the way it works. And the view, I went to the US a couple of times last year, most recently in October, and the view in the US is from people that were there, and this is including the likes of Badad Iqbali, who's a Chelsea co-owner. The view is FSG are kind of the best in class, and this is the view of investors.
Yeah.
So they look at them thinking they take these assets, they grow them to huge values, and they are the people to be bedfellows with.
Yeah.
But now FSG are looking towards someone who can help them. I think they've reached the limit with what they did. They need new ideas. So I think whoever comes on board, if it is a minority partner, which I do think it will be, please hold me to that, I'm sure. But I think it will be something, I was told something strategic, and by that I mean someone who can bring expertise in, so especially which aligns with the whole, we're going to have a change in dynamic about broadcast eventually, and how to tap into global fan bases like Liverpool have. Someone like that will be where I think they look towards, that can help them and remove some of the risk of and burden, not so much burden, but onus on them to invest in Liverpool, so it becomes them and someone else, but also gives them a chance of an out. So I think FSG, I think this is the start of the end. I think it kicks open the door and provides a longer term exit strategy for them, with someone who they can work with at the same time as continuing to grow the value. So by the time they sell, it'll be worth even more. I mean, you look at NFL team values, and the valuations are crazy. They operate on a multiple of revenue of something like 11, 12, 13. Premier League football still 6, 7, 8, and 8 at the very top level. So So yeah, there are a myriad other reasons why they would want to stay at Liverpool, and they all seem to kind of align with someone that can help them grow the business. But as I say from the start, this Man United Jim Ratcliffe bid may kick into action some people who were lurking on the edges and yet to show their hand. I think there'll be some concrete interest over the next 6-8 weeks that might come to the fore, but as yet, nothing.